They want exactly what you want. Yes, this statement might shock you, but your specific person wants exactly what you want. I know you won't believe it at this moment, but by the end of this video, you will understand what I am talking about. Also, you will learn a very important aspect that will greatly help you manifest your specific person. Do you know that a specific person is your mirror? Have you ever heard of the concept of everyone is you pushed out? If you are watching videos related to manifesting a specific person, then I am sure that you have heard of this term. Also, after hearing this, you might have thought that it was a lie. You might have thought that your specific person is separate from you. Well, your statement is kind of true, but it isn't fully true because it is also said that consciousness is the one and only reality. You have also heard that we are all connected, and if all of us are connected, then there is no separation between you and your specific person. I know this is mind-blowing. I know you have never thought about your situation in this manner. But, as I proceed with this video, you will also be able to relate that your specific person is a mirror of you. Now, what is a specific person? Who is this specific person that you are trying to manifest? Your specific person is someone with whom you have an emotional attachment. That is why the fear of losing them haunts you. You feel the need to be with them, and you say that you love them because you are emotionally invested in them. Therefore, you are in a state of consciousness where you are needy and are seeking ways to get them. You are desperate to have them, and when you are living from this state of consciousness, your specific person behaves in that same manner. They reflect what you are holding within. If you are in a state where you want them, then it implies that you don't have them, and therefore your specific person has no choice but to show you that you don't have them. They do this by ignoring you, not prioritizing you, and not meeting you. They are behaving in this manner because they are reflecting your state of consciousness. They reflect your state of being. That is why you probably heard, you don't get what you want, but you get who you are. I know you are constantly in a state where you lack a specific person, and therefore you are getting evidence of that lack in your external circumstances. This is the mistake nearly everyone makes when manifesting their specific person. When they are new to these teachings, they are in a state where they are either in no contact with their specific person rejected them, or their crush is not interested in them. Their state of being at this point is entirely opposite to their desired state of being. This state of being comprises what they feel towards themselves, what kind of story they are entertaining in their mind, how they are thinking internally, and what kind of feelings they are engaging in. Only when they change this state of being, only when they make this shift internally, will they experience an entirely different reality. I am not asking you to take any action. I am not asking you to call them or text them. I am not asking you to take any sort of action in your 3D reality. You don't have to do anything externally. It is not an external thing. It is an internal thing. It is a game of beliefs. When you realize that we are all one and nothing is separate from you, then you will know the secret behind creation. You will acknowledge that your specific person is your mirror. There are people who realize this when they make that internal shift that every manifestation author talks about. The moment they start shifting their perspectives, they start shifting their energy and response internally. They make that shift when their attention is diverted internally, and when they change their story about themselves and their specific person. The moment that shift happens is the moment their specific person starts changing their behavior towards them. It is as if their specific person has transformed and become a different version. They have become romantic, loving, and caring. People get shocked when this happens because they don't do anything externally. They didn't send their specific person those long paragraphs. They didn't buy them gifts. They didn't take them on vacations. The only thing that they did was go within and change the story that they were playing in their mind. They changed their perspective about themselves, and their specific person had no other choice. They reflected their changed state of being. When that happened, all these people shared their success stories on YouTube channels, forums, and Facebook groups. If you have been following my videos for a long time, then you have often heard me tell you that you have to put the majority of your focus on yourself. Like, 90% of your attention has to be on changing the story about yourself, and only 10% of that focus has to be on changing your specific person. This is where things get interesting. As Neville Goddard mentions in his lecture, to change another within my world, I must first change my concept of that other, and to do it best, I must change my concept of myself. For it was the concept I held of myself that made me see others as I did. This is the most eye-opening statement that I've ever read in Neville's book. Play this statement on loop till it sinks deep in your subconscious mind. When a person has a poor concept of themselves, all they see are problems in their reality. They see things going wrong, and they perceive people around them in a bad light. They are miserable, and the people around them act in that certain manner. Their concept of themselves makes them see others in the same light. A person can only see things and others in the light he is familiar with. Therefore, I advise you to change yourself. As you change yourself, you change your perspective. And when you make that shift in your perspective, the perspective of others, including your specific person, shifts automatically and effortlessly. Manifesting is about changing yourself. As you change yourself, things in your world automatically change. This is no magic. This is no witchcraft. It is the most logical thing that you can come across. Just look at people, look at your specific person, and observe their behavior towards you. Just witness that and observe carefully, and you will know many things that you were unaware of before. You will realize where you are lacking. You will notice your limitations. If your specific person is not ready to forgive you, then you are not ready to forgive yourself. Instead of asking for forgiveness from that specific person, just forgive yourself internally. Instead of asking them to accept you, accept yourself internally. Instead of begging them to be with you, enjoy your own company first. Instead of asking them to commit to you, commit to becoming a better version of yourself. Instead of asking them to prioritize you, prioritize yourself in your reality. Instead of asking them to love you, feel loved internally first. Whatever you want from a specific person, give it to yourself. Give it to yourself internally first. Don't seek it outside. Even if you have a new crush and you feel love when you are with them, then observe that the love you are experiencing at that moment is present within you. The feeling of love, the feeling of ecstasy, and the feeling of happiness are all generated within you and only by you. No one connects a wire in your body and installs that happiness. They don't charge you with love and ecstasy. You are not an iPhone. You are not some device that needs to be charged. You generate these feelings, and you will always generate these feelings. Don't seek anything outside. Just give it to yourself inside. When you give it to yourself internally, people outside of you will give it back to you externally. Your specific person always reflects your state of being. So, if you are unhappy with your current situation with a specific person, then change that state within you. They want exactly what you want, and they will exactly reflect your state of being. Now, you might wonder how to make that shift. Well, as per my experience, in order to make this shift, you have to start observing yourself. By observing yourself, I simply mean observing your inner world. Observing your inner talks, your thought pattern, and your belief system. You cannot do all of this by constantly giving your attention to your external world. So, sit quietly for a few minutes every day. When you are sitting quietly, you don't have to look at your smartphone or television. It is better that you close your eyes and sit quietly. The moment you start doing this, your mind will start telling you that you have to do that laundry, or you have to clean the house, or you have to read that book. Your mind will try to focus your attention on some tasks. It will, in a way, tell you that sitting idle is a waste of time. Well, don't say anything to your mind. Don't oppose it. Don't accept it. It is just your thought patterns. The mind always loves to get engaged in one activity or another. After a while, it will start getting calmer. You have to do it for a few days. When you do it, you start becoming a good observer and you start to witness. People call it meditation. When you do it, you will develop a quality within yourself that will help you to observe the thought patterns and the story that you are playing internally. At random moments during the day, you will notice some thoughts relating to you and your specific person. And at this point, you have to change these thoughts. You have to break this thought pattern and replace it with a new story. You do it through your conscious effort. Also, there are guided meditations that I believe strongly help to make that internal shift. These guided meditations help us to change our state of being. They help us to change our internal reality and make that shift. So, you can take advantage of guided meditations too. Apart from that, playing affirmation tapes and listening to them also helps us make that shift internally. That is why I have designed an affirmation tape that will definitely help you make that shift. Just click on the first video that appears at the end of the screen.